Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be on this big, beautiful planet we call home. And we'd certainly like to welcome you to the live episode of Drinks and Daves. How are you, David?
What up, B. Dave? How you doing?
Hey, do me a favor real quick. Can you yell at the bartender? I don't know if you unlocked the door because we've only got one person in the lounge.
We'd like to welcome you specifically to Drinks and Daves.
Yes, please introduce yourself and take a number because we know that you're standing in a very long queue. Wow.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's okay.
We get viewers after the fact, and
yeah. So what's happening?
I don't know. It was a weird. Oh, P beat the man.
Thank you, sir. That he is a barfly. That is awesome.
He's like, I'm here. I'm drinking. I don't care what you guys are talking about.
Speaking of drinking, what is your libation of choice this evening?
You're into it quick.
Well,
You're
sorry.
Like down to Ardbeg Ugadal is the drink of choice. I got too many open Ardbegs is the first world problem I have. So
yes,
I'm trying to willow
such a world problem. Now I am drinking, and I know that you're going to cringe when I say this.
Does it start with a B?
It's a no. It's a blended Scotch.
But it does start with a B, Dave.
Well, I guess it does. Well, no, because it's Monkey Shoulder.
Okay, no, you're all right.
Monkey Shoulder is a nice sipping blended Scotch because I think it's what Lafroig. No, it's not Lafroig. Who is it? It's you told me one time.
Blended stuff is a lot of Coila.
No, but you told me that it was three. It was three. I thought Monkey Shoulder was three specific.
Could be
people. But the taste is mellow vanilla with spicy hints of zesty orange, vanilla, honey, and spiced oak.
Let's see. What is in Monkey Shoulder?
Wait a minute. You better finish that. What are you smoking, by the way?
What? I'm doing research, buddy. Dalvini. What? Balvini? Well, I haven't heard of this one.
Mm-hmm.
Kenivy and Glenfiddich. I guess that makes sense. I was thinking that's not a peated Scotch, so of course it wouldn't have Coila.
No, it's a space side, but it's a nice little sipping Scotch. And I just realized that I have a major third world problem. You know, I've got the Orland glass, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking that there was a something spoogious.
Oh, you got a crack.
It's cracked.
Do you put that in the dishwasher?
No.
Okay.
No. But I guess that means I need to go because it drinks well. It's cracked on the inside, but
you know what broke on me?
I have to go get two more.
You have to go shopping. Have to. This weekend, you know, I had off of Zazzle, I had the Nurse Day Shaving World coffee mug made.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when I make the cappuccinos, it's got the foam on top. And I don't get the spoon because I'm opposed to having another instrument in my coffee. I've got the mug, and that's all I should need. So I got it by the handle. I'm swirling it around, trying to mix and the handle, it's got a crack on the top. It can't handle the stress of a cappuccino.
Wow. So it's not quite bougie. It's not a bougie.
No, yeah, that's a working man's coffee mug.
Yeah, exactly. So I am smoking a Perdomo Lot 23, sun-grown.
Look at
wonderful.
The V-cut on that. That's deep.
And speaking of that, I went shopping today. And I went to see a person that we will talk about later on in the show. Very excited about that. And I got a new V-cutter from Calibri. And this was at his recommendation. And I'll tell you what, the one that I had before was a Zycar. And this one is amazing. Amazing. It's thinner. A little bit heavier, and it's just.
It sounds
wonderful.
beefy when you.
It is, yeah, it's really nice, and it does cut a deep cut, but it's very nice, very nice. This is a nice cigar, matches well with that. And I had to buy. I told you earlier, I had to buy a box of cigars so I could get a $5 ashtray.
Yeah, well, that's like when we changed insurance agents a few years ago. You know, my first question was, "What free stuff do we get?" And it's all crap you don't need, right? Like squishy balls and pins. Mm-hmm. But I want the free stuff, right? What am I paying for besides the insurance?
Yeah. There is that.
Right.
Oh, we forgot. So, of course, Gunther, the cigar gnome, needs to say hello to everybody as he's passing by.
So tonight is the Oliva G
Nice.
box press. And I'm digging the box presses. I wish more people would do them. They just feel sexy in your hand.
Well, I'm going to give
Right?
everybody a little hint here because speaking of box press cigars, the individual that we're going to be talking about and we're extremely excited about did a short on box press cigars after he went to the dentist, and it was absolutely hilarious.
That was funny.
was
You
funny.
know what? We might want to. I wonder if there's a way that we could download that so we could roll that when he's on the show. That would be hilarious.
That would be
We'll look
funny.
into
I
it.
should be able to do that.
I want to interact with P Beat here for a second.
Well, yeah, because he's the only one in
he's
our
the only
lounge.
one, right? I got no
I got-
choice. You're the bottom and the top of the barrel today, P Beat. Because this Dalwhinnie, the Distiller's Edition, if you don't know, is kind of a special release every year by certain distilleries, and it ain't cheap, right? I think they're around $120 a bottle, something like that. So PB, I'm curious where you live because I'm betting that in a lot of control states, this stuff isn't available. We can get it here, but I'm curious if because he's got some good stuff he's been posting.
Yes.
So I'm just curious if he lives in an area that's kind of free range in terms of the alcohol access.
Well, while you're doing that, I am going to run outside and get on my bullhorn and see if I can chase up some
more
viewers.
people?
Yeah.
Get some more people. It's set. Oh. So you know what I did want? South Carolina. So in South Carolina, are they state stores or they're independents and you can get a whole bunch of stuff? Not to get too political, but all the people yelling and screaming about like gun rights and all this stuff, if they put that energy into getting rid of the 3-tier alcohol system, I think that would benefit way more people. Right? I ought to be able to order whatever I want from wherever. And
Well, there's only a few of those online companies that can actually ship to Arizona. But we can get most stuff. But I know that I think Chad was saying that in Utah, geez, you can't
they're
get
shut
anything
down.
sent.
They're shut down. Well, a lot of states are. If they've got the state-run liquor stores, same with Oregon. You can't ship there. It's all state-run stuff. But what I wanted to start talking about. So yeah, I've got a title on this show. I come up with an idea, and then kind of change my mind a little bit afterwards. So we might get to this, but I figure we don't have a guest today. This will just be us just chatting. Oh, P Beat. That's sad. It's a state-run store. Sorry to hear that, buddy.
Oh! The bartender must have opened the door. We've got one more person.
One squeezed in. So there's something that came up at the end of the last show, I believe, that we said we could spend an awful lot of time talking about. So I want to start with that.
Okay.
You remember what it was?
I'm almost. I'm 50.
Pizza.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can start. So I'm curious. The first thing, let's talk crust.
Mhm.
What are you into?
Thin. Well, wait.
No,
Let me
wait.
rephrase
Is that
it.
because of keto?
No.
What?
No. There's Rich.
Rich. Good
I'm
to see you,
waiting
buddy.
I'm waiting for you.
I did it. Oh, go ahead.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. You don't. Man, you're old.
There you go.
There you go.
Anyhow, no, two types of crusts. I would say a thin crust or a New York style crust. Not a thick crust, but a New York style crust that's thin, that you actually can fold the piece of pizza up. Those two crusts I love.
Now, now, see, I guess it depends how you're comparing, because it was the rage when we were in high school, or even maybe you were in your 30s, but
You ain't that much younger than me there, Paco.
but thick crust was right. Pan crust, the thicker, that was all the trend. So if you compare
That's bread.
New York to that's thin.
Yeah, well, New York is thin, but it's pliable.
Right.
Thin crust to me is crunchy.
Oh,
Not
now,
cracker, not cracker, but a thin roll on the outside that's a little crunchy, and different depending on how you have your pizza. Certain pizzas are better crunchy than not. But once we get off the crust, I'll tell you that I like a pesto sauce rather than a tomato sauce.
But you're going to tell me that later.
Well, I figured
that's
you were
good.
still
Yeah,
talking
thanks.
about BFs. Uh-oh, I don't know what that means. I don't even want to ask. Best friends?
Hey.
Um,
The you mentioned the crispy thin crust. That's very unusual here.
is it
Even
really?
thin crust is not crunchy almost
Wow.
anywhere. Unless you get like a frozen pizza, then you can get the thin and it ends up crunchy.
Well, that's because you put it in the oven too long and it comes out all gross.
No, but I'll tell you. So I wouldn't want that on an ongoing basis. But from there's a kind of a brew pub place where you can get very thin pizza from, and then that's country. That's
Oh,
crunchy. I like that
Barfly.
on.
Boy,
Oh,
we're God, we're
Barfly.
whoo.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. So yeah, I would. So because of the whole blood sugar thing, now the thinner the better because you can have. If you get like a normal pizza, it's like one slice you're done, which sucks. That's not a
Yeah,
fun way to
no.
eat pizza.
Well, there's also times when you just say, okay, no, I'm
Yeah,
going to live with a 3-digit number for a couple of hours and then go away. But but here they have crustless pizza, pizza in a bowl. So it's everything that's in a pizza, but no crust.
you said that's super smart.
Yeah, but it still mixes. It still misses the point, in my opinion.
Yeah, but so I've done that thing where you'll have a couple pieces. There's a bunch of pizza left over, and you're still you can't have more bread, and so you're pulling the stuff off the top.
Right. Well, for
But
instance, when we have pizza, the dogs, or the dog rather, loves it because we call them pizza bones. So in other words, Sharon doesn't like bread at all. That's why she's rail thin, and she will peel off the crust, and those are called pizza bones. And the dog
nice.
loves it.
Oh yeah, buddy.
We're probably turning our dog into a diabetic, but that's aside from the point. He's happy. But to me, and PB just mentioned something, or no, actually, Rich mentioned something about Chicago pizza. I didn't realize that there's 3 different types of Chicago pizza. There's the Chicago deep dish, which you eat with
Yeah.
a fork. It's like eating a steak, and what they do is they put the toppings on first, then they put a layer of sauce, then a layer of cheese, and it's about that thick. But they
Well,
also have
there's a crust on the
right.
top too, right? And
Right.
then,
Yeah. They
yeah.
lay a
Okay.
crust on it. Right. And then there's also a thinner crust Chicago pizza. And that's the one that's kind of like a Chicago hot dog. It's got a lot more spices on it. And then there's a third one, or there's a Detroit style pizza.
You're
And I didn't know
making
that.
this shit up, man.
No, I swear to God, these are all that I've heard from people. I didn't know because my favorite pizza is from a place called Magpies. It was started by 2 University of Arizona students, and they're the large. You can get a 24, I think a 24-inch is the maximum size, and it's called the JC Pesto. So the crust you can also pick. Hello, Sam. So you can pick what type of crust you want. So if you want a gluten-free crust or if you want Parmesan garlic, and so the crust is infused with whatever you have. So then the sauce is a pesto sauce
Yeah.
that is pesto that's mixed with jalapenos. And it's crushed up. It's crushed up so you have a
Yeah.
nice green sauce. And then on top of that, you have tons of mozzarella, then tomatoes, and then pine nuts. Oh,
That
it's amazing.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
What Rich is mentioning here, that sounds pretty good too. That would be crunchy too, right? If you put in the oven, carb counter tortilla. I've never seen a tortilla for only 5 carbs for a tortilla.
Well, it's one of those carb smart tortillas, right, Rich?
$15 for a pack of 4 or something like that. One of those. So anyway, my favorite would be what you mentioned. If it is all holds bar, that's super thick, where you got even the crust on the top and all that stuff.
Oh, that's your favorite?
And, yeah, that would be it. Where it's a knife and a fork and.
See, after living in New York, you go and you grab a slice, and the slice of pizza, one slice is that big, and you fold it up, and that's what I got used to.
There's a place
And
here called New York Pizza where you can get this massive pizza delivered to your house. And yeah, and I don't know, it's like 3 feet wide or something like that. And you got to get just the cheese so it's authentic. So
well, we've actually got we've lately when we decide to have pizza,
Sorry.
we go up to, believe it or not, a supermarket, and they've got a deli that's got a wood-fired pizza oven, and it's $9 for a huge, large pizza
Yeah.
and
$9.
there's a bunch of toppings. Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic.
Okay,
So,
when I was,
hey,
early
Jerry.
days living in the apartments, I would go to like Safeway, the local grocery store, and they would have a heck of a deal just on a cheese pizza. And you get that, and then you buy pepperoni and
Hmm.
cut up peppers and all that stuff, and you load it up, and you make
Right.
your own pizza that way. But so then we get into that toppings. You're
No,
not buying for anybody else. The pizza's just for
okay.
you.
Just for me, no pepperoni. Pepperoni is like, unless it's the artisan little tiny pepperonis that get crunchy.
Uh,
Those are amazing. But to me, and I know that there's going to be people that yell at me, our standard pizza would be mushroom,
well,
pineapple. I knew I was going to lose you there, and sausage. Oh, what the heck was that? You left.
yeah, I just turned my back on you from. But
No,
it's not terrible. It's not. I'm sorry. I stopped listening. So
but
tiny crunchy
why don't you like
pepperonis,
pineapple? Why don't you like
pineapples.
pineapple?
No, I said it's not
No
terrible.
pepperoni.
But
Normally, if it was
okay,
up to the spouse,
mushrooms. You said
it would.
mushrooms,
If it was up to
pineapple.
the spouse, it would be all veggies. In other words, it would be a salad
Yeah.
on a pizza.
Wait,
But
do you do? Go ahead.
for me, it's sausage, pineapple, and mushrooms, and bacon,
All right. So normally, if I could go sausage and mushroom for the rest of my life. Now the pineapple's okay. It can take over. That's the clue.
No,
Is if it's too sweet, it doesn't blend well,
I must say
and it can
something
be
to.
wet.
I must say something to Rich real quick.
Wrong. Wrong. Wrong.
We got it.
Okay, I'm better now.
But so then it's also not, but there is something to be said for the loaded down pizza. So I got to ask,
Hmm.
when you do all veggies, do you do artichoke hearts?
Yes, if we can get them.
Yes,
If
that's
we can
good.
get them.
Yeah, that's nice. So,
So,
well,
what is your favorite? If you were to pick a combination,
I do like the almost everything under the sun, right? So nothing spicy though. So no pepperoncinis, no.
right?
I don't like the flavor of banana peppers, but I'll do like
What about anchovies?
pepperoni, salami, sausage. I don't honestly. I've never had a pizza with it
It's actually good.
because they're salty, right? So
Yes.
again, I would think it would take over the flavor.
Not if not if you strip them right. You just very thin slices.
Take their
are
clothes
pretty good.
off. Oh.
No,
But
no.
and then all the veggies. I like maybe, and that's also because I can't have a lot of bread. If it's no holds barred and you can have a lot of bread, then just an amazing crust that tastes so good that you want to eat the crust
Right.
with just sausage and good like homemade sausage that's kind of you know the gristly kind almost, you know what I'm saying, that has like chunks of
Hmm.
like real meat in it.
Oh yeah. Well,
And then
now there is a pizza. There is a pizza.
Verde.
So a green sauce, bechamel, zucchini,
I'm
basil
sorry,
pesto.
who's
Oh,
the bougie one?
that's nice. I like that. That sounds really, really good.
PB
But
comes
see,
in with the details.
if it
for
oh,
sure.
there's another one: sun-dried tomatoes, capers, olives, green peppers, and onion. I could go.
Ooh.
I could eat spoonfuls of capers just right out of the jar. I love
You
capers.
can't afford that.
Yeah.
All right, here's your guy. You
Um,
got Major Rich pepperoni sausages and shrooms.
Oh, and we have a relative, Stephen. Welcome. Sautéed onions, pancetta, and fontina. Ooh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, they live in the bougie area.
Oh,
too,
and
buddy.
by the way, Stephen, the next time Dave's up visiting you, he said he'll take your whole family out for that pizza. He told me that before the show. Just thought I'd let you know.
So
Um,
why, did that cover it? I mean, I thought we could spend a half an hour talking. Well, maybe we have almost, but
Well,
it's
see,
crust and
I'm not really
toppings,
into
right?
the stuffed crust pizzas.
No,
There's
that's
enough cheese. Yeah,
that's
there's
kid
enough.
crap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no. Okay, so you told me earlier that there was and obviously there's no double standards in pizza because pizza is like the best stuff on the planet. But I got to say one thing: when we were growing up, there was a place called Shakey's, and there is only one left in California somewhere. But we used to have them here, and there was three things that were absolutely amazing at Shakey's. One, the Mojo potatoes. Oh my lord, those things were amazing. Two, their fried chicken was actually pretty good. And three, the pizza that we always got was Canadian bacon and mushroom. That's the one thing
That'd be all right.
it reminds me of my childhood. So
So we could. I've got more ideas about pizza.
okay.
Wait, I just lost one. No, so we had. Did you ever have a Godfather's pizza? It was
yeah,
a chain,
Yep, we
and
had 'em
they
here.
would cook their cheese till it was brown on top.
Yes.
It's the
yes.
only place that was so good.
Yeah.
And now that
Well,
my dad's here, memory is we would go skiing and always stop at Godfather's Pizza on the way home from skiing. That was part of the day.
now, did you guys have Village Inn pizza there by chance?
No.
Village Inn Pizza,
Village
they
Inn
would.
was a breakfast place.
Well, no, well that too, but Village Inn Pizza had these mugs, these big, thick glass mugs, and my mom, I can't believe this, but my mom would take a larger than life purse with her when we go to that. And
How many of these do you have?
Oh, I don't know. They're probably in a box somewhere, but yeah, we had. When I was growing up, all the glasses that I had, I thought that we were some like an advertising because we had Village Inn, we had Welch's grape juice glass or Welch's jam glasses, yeah. So.
Styling. So what
Sizzle
was the-
cheese, yes, that's it. Sizzle cheese.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so
Well-
I think we've covered pizza, but your subject matter for tonight was double standards, and I
Double
don't know in
standards.
advance.
Do you remember what Karnak was that? Was that his name? He had his cards.
Yes,
And he
yes.
pulled them up to his head, and yeah. So I wrote down some ideas.
Okay,
But
because
because-
here's one that I remember, and this comes from a road trip we were taking across country to see my dad's family in Pennsylvania. And it's amazing you say that because my dad is laying on the bed, my mom was in the shower, and my dad's laying on the bed. I'm on the other bed bouncing around as a little kid, and Johnny Carson was on, and he put the card up and he goes, Peter Pan. And for some reason, the punchline was not that funny, but it caught my dad off guard. And Johnny Carson goes, something to fry your Peter in. And my dad laughed so hard he crapped his pants. It was hilarious. I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, his jokes weren't that funny, and that was part of it too, right? Like they were just stupid punchlines, and
Yeah.
oh man, Johnny Carson.
So how does Karnak have to do with double standards?
Nothing. That I wrote them on cards, Dave. I already explained that.
Okay.
No, so here's the problem: is that I've got several that are connected, but then I was trying to think of other ones or topics that could trigger, like, hey, what can you think of a double standard about this? And
Okay, hold on a second. I want to see your eyes glaze over because your dad just wrote something.
well, see, I read that, and I didn't know that any existed anymore. I thought all the Godfather's pizzas were gone.
See, you see, that's the thing. Dads know everything. They can create
Yeah,
stuff that just
ask
happens.
our kids; they certainly do not. But see, the problem was, this is why I didn't want to spend the whole show on this, is that when I was Googling double standards on all this stuff, of course, the stuff that comes up are these serious topics, right? Between men and women and races and all this stuff. Nah, I'm talking just your little kind of pet peeve double standards are the ones that we think it's okay, we get away with and all that kind of stuff, because we don't want to get deep and heavy and all this stuff. So the one I want to start with is clothing and
Oh God!
pants.
See what you did?
And-
Look in the chat. Look in the chat. See what you started? When somebody primes themselves, double standard chat incoming.
That's all right. Well,
Oh,
you can.
God.
I hope that they put up so lighthearted, So, but here, pants piss me off because in many, many, many areas, guys are expected to wear them to work, whereas women don't have to wear pants; they can wear skirts.
Whoa, stop. Oh, okay. You finished. I was going to say, if you have a place where women don't have to wear pants, I'm signing up.
Well, I, I'll shoot you a PM. But
Yeah.
right, because one, and it comes up all the time. One, when it's hot, right? So like
Mhm.
where you are, 120 degrees, and you gotta pull the pants on to go out the door to go to work. Maybe you need them to protect your legs from your car seat, but
Well,
do
but
you wear
remember,
shorts to work, Dave?
no, I won't.
What?
And the reason why I don't is I could because I own the business,
Yeah,
but there's something about a professional. There's
right,
professionalism that I
right.
could never wear. And there's a lot of barbers that do. But you got to remember, we go from our and you said this to me. We go from our air conditioned house to our air conditioned car to our air conditioned shop. So that's one thing. But I will say I agree with you. In the summer months, soon as I'm home from work, it's like woof, they're gone, and it's shorts.
Right.
But women, but then again, yes, women can wear skirts, and it could be argued that at now in this new world that men are starting to wear skirts. But you know what, Dave? Here's the thing: wear a kilt. Wear a kilt to work and see what happens. Would that work?
It may. It may. Well, I mean, come on. There's a difference between technically, legally, they can't say anything to you, that you're just creating problems,
Well, but
right?
you were no. I'm agreeing with you that said that the
Right.
double standard is that men have to wear pants, and women can wear a skirt. They can wear a dress. They can wear a sundress. They can dress it up with a belt, whatever. And I know way too much about this apparently, but why couldn't we wear a kilt? Now everybody would say, "Oh, you're wearing a skirt." No, I'm wearing a kilt. I am sticking to my Scottish background. So why couldn't you?
Well, why can't we wear shorts?
See,
What's the difference?
you
And you
lose
would
me
think,
there.
really, because a skirt has less coverage in theory than a pair of shorts. A pair of shorts, you don't have to watch how you sit and all that stuff. Anyway, when you're off on vacation and don't wear pants for a week, and then that first day you go back to work, it's like that's like the kill. That's like vacation's over. I got to put pants on.
Okay, I
Don't
can.
even get me started on ties, because what the hell sense does a tie make, right?
Well, see, I wore a tie for umpteen years, and then finally, it's like no, no more ties.
But you're literally
See,
tying a
yes,
colored cloth around your neck that's not shirt covers, right, body parts, protects you, pants, shoes, all that. A tie, what the hell is that?
well, because a tie. Well, but see, the thing is, I would go even further because I thought the days when you got up and you went to work, and it didn't really matter where you worked, but you were wearing a shirt, a tie, a hat, a fedora. Men looked dapper, and that's what's missing. So I'm with you with the heat and the pants and stuff, but I think that men have lost that fashion where we looked cool, and
It
it's
depends where
not there
you are,
anymore.
though. So here's another example. We were on a cruise, and I completely forgot. So I'll tell you, Disney cruise, you can wear almost whatever the hell you want to dinner,
Hmm.
right? This other cruise line, it was men cannot wear shorts to dinner. You had to put pants on. I had just forgotten, and I showed up, and they pointed it out. And this guy behind me, in somewhat of an accent from some other country, was like, "They wouldn't let you in with shorts on? That's standard." And you think about it, there are countries where the suit includes like Bermuda, right? Like
Right,
long shorts, and that
right.
is dressed up for
Well,
work.
okay, so that brings up another thing. So if you okay, so you're already going to try. We know that we're going to try to get you to wear a kilt to work, but you know what? I've been somewhere on my Facebook feed for some reason. All of a sudden, lederhosen is becoming a huge
You would
advertisement.
look cute as hell in lederhosen, Dave. Yeah.
Lederhosen. Yeah, we could do lederhosen. No, but PB brings up a good point. Sweatpants are a sign of defeat. Now, I agree. Now, this is going to be a little bit deeper than you probably wanted to go, but when COVID hit, people got lazy. Because they were working from home
Praise.
and
Oh, wait,
well,
that's bad.
and I'm sorry, sweatpants.
Uh huh.
Even if you're working at home, because when my mom was sick and my wife and I were trading off, she'd go to work, then I'd stay at home, and vice versa. I still got up, took a shower, got dressed in business casual, to sit at my computer. But there's just something to me. It's a method of getting ready, for work. Getting up.
That's fine if you want to, but the whole fact of you have to. And you know what? There's a company in Oregon called Utilikilt that
Mhm.
tried to, and I think they're still around, but I think they're less successful than they hope to be. Do make quote kilts for men, and they're Utilakilts because they've got pockets and a thing you
Right.
can hang your hammer from. But I saw them at somewhere, and the cloth is super heavy. So to me,
Right.
for heat, I don't want to put on this 20-pound kilt anyway. All right, here let's throw this up here and read it. I didn't even read it yet. Girls do not dress for boys; they dress for themselves and, of course, each other. If girls dress for boys, they just walk around naked at all times. All right. So,
But have you noticed though, and I won't mention any names, but if you see women in pants, which that's not, but there is a reason they're not wearing pants because they're comfortable. They're wearing pants because they didn't shave their legs.
I'm going to let somebody else jump on you for that one.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. I'm just waiting. It's gonna happen
because that's a whole nother double standard I wasn't going to bring up was the body hair thing.
Well,
right?
see, I was a swimmer, and I rode bikes. And
you were a pretty boy.
We've gone down that road before as far as shaving, because believe it or not, if you're riding a bike and you're covered in ape hair and you crash, it acts like sandpaper. So
I had a good friend in high school that shaved his legs who wasn't a swimmer, and we were, what the hell are you doing? He said, and he also said if you get like road rash, then you got the hairs like in your that stuff.
Uh-oh.
So yeah.
Uh-oh.
Here she is.
This is like, I was going to say, this is like a family-centric edition.
Yeah, but she's replying to you this time.
Oh, I know she is. I know she is. But the thing is, think about it. With women, when they wear pants, they have pantsuits. And I'm not talking about the polyester stuff. I'm talking about they can accessorize a lot more. Oh, and Sharon brings up a good point. In the state of Arizona, and this is still on the books, it's illegal for women in Arizona to wear pants on Sunday. It's actually on the books legally.
That's interesting.
Nobody does it.
Wait, the opposite of that is they can get away with the black stretch pants for everything. You can wear them to work. You can wear them to church.
You're talking about like yoga pants?
Pretty much, yeah.
But here's the
throw
problem.
on a sweater and then it looks dress casual, right?
Yeah, but the problem is a lot of people that wear the yoga pants.
Don't go down that road. I know it. That's not what we're talking. We're just saying that they can.
Right.
They do.
And I need to apologize to your wife because I didn't mean that as a general rule, but I know that I have heard in the past that is part of the reason why they don't wear a dress.
Yeah. Well, in reality, it seems like shaving your legs is a pain in the ass. I mean, that's a lot of shaving. Just saying. I mean, could you imagine your morning routine after just your face, and then you got 2 square feet down below you got to take care of? Anyway.
So I think we've beaten that one into the ground as far as, but I don't agree. I think that, that pants, that old adage, dress for success. If you see somebody in sweatpants and a sweatshirt and they're walking into work,
I hear you.
It's just,
but why is dress for success for men pants and for women dresses? That's
because most of the time dresses are tailored. Especially if you get into the high executive realms for ladies. I mean, they dress in suits. It's just that their suit is a skirt, but you still have all the accoutrement that goes with it.
Right. Are you saying my legs aren't good enough for a skirt, Dave?
Well, considering that your family's here, you're probably going to get a big triple dog dare here pretty soon, I think.
All right. Ready?
I'm ready.
Makeup.
Okay.
Got anything to say about makeup?
Well, what's the double standard? I mean, you got to give me.
That's what I'm. So I think the obvious one would be
Makeup
women
versus
oftentimes
non-makeup.
are expected, right, to wear makeup.
At one time, yes, maybe back in the '60s and '70s. But no, I think no, I think that people nowadays embrace natural beauty. But I know that ladies of a certain age, they have been brought up with that standard, and they won't leave the
Mm.
house unless they have some makeup on.
Okay, well here because as you were saying this, I was thinking the opposite then. Because originally the thought is, why is there an expectation? And I think all of this depends where you live, where you're working, right? Because there's got to be, I imagine, like law firms or wherever where you do wear suits and things like that. That I bet the women are encouraged to gussy it up a little bit. I don't know, but what about the opposite? This guys do wear makeup now. I
Hmm.
would say not most places, and in most average places, if you do, people are going to be talking about you behind your back.
Well, I mean, you could use the broadcast realm as an example. As you know, one of my
Well,
best.
no,
No, but
that's
what
like
I'm saying,
actors and stuff. That doesn't
yeah,
count.
I mean, so you're talking about just general people that go out and wear makeup. Guys.
Right.
It- it-
Like if you got a dude to come in to get his hair cut, he's got a little eyeshadow on to draw your attention. Wouldn't that feel a little bit weird?
could it possibly affect what my initial assumption is about somebody? Yes, I will admit that. That as far as makeup's concerned, but
Right.
makeup. If you use the term makeup, let's use the root two words, make
We
up.
we are.
Well, no, but no, you're talking about makeup like you're talking about rouge, you're talking about eyeliner, you're talking
No,
about makeup.
because I'm also thinking like it's not a bad idea, right? The
But
whole
think about
thing
it.
with and yeah, go
We
ahead.
do makeup every morning. We get up, we prepare our shave gear, we prepare our razor, we prepare our
I'm
aftershave.
talking about shit you leave on your face, Dave.
I understand. Oh, okay. What about witch hazel? What about aftershave
Yeah, but it's
balm?
not.
What about?
Nobody knows it's there.
Well, that's not true. If you walk by, as much as I put on, they know.
No, but because I was just going to say it's not a bad, and here goes the double standards. It's almost a little bit too serious, right? But women aren't quote supposed to age, right? You're supposed to keep makeup on, keep your wrinkle lines gone, and all this stuff. And guys, it's like, well, you're getting older. That's just the way that it is.
Well, that's not true anymore because there's some stuff that you put on your skin, and you watch your.
Get closer to the camera so you can see this.
No, I don't have any.
Oh,
I'm naturally beautiful, but that's because I'm Puerto Rican. So, but that's aside. I mean, I'm
gonna
almost
have to
60.
leave
I'm
again.
almost 60 years old. Look at that face. Look at that face.
Yeah.
I mean, But anyhow,
hunka.
no, I agree. I think that there. Well, I think that the older makeup that was out there. Talc. There, yeah. See, there you go. There's talc, and women use talc too to set their makeup.
Right. Well, and Sam points out men's beauty products were over 200 billion, and you were only 1 billion of that. So there's 199 other guys that bought as much
Well,
as you did.
well, that's because cigar smoke has a tendency to make it melt, so I have to get extra.
The heat. You need the heat-proof foundation.
So
Yeah.
I think we've kind of shot that double standard. I think we've shot down because I think women now they also have a lot more a lot more opportunity to buy organic and good stuff for their skin rather than just the paste. Because you remember in high school there was always that one girl. There was always that one girl whose face was actually this thin, but after she put her makeup on, her face was that thin.
Dude, I worked with this older lady who I don't know what she used for her foundation, but when you took pictures and the flash went off, you look at the picture, her face was white. Like it seriously was reflecting all the flash. And it was
Are you sure that wasn't a ghost?
it might have been embalming fluid. I don't
Okay. So,
I think, I think, and this is fine for our show because we love all. But I think sometimes you're being a little bit nice that we shot down this because in general, I would still say there's kind of maybe not an expectation. Yeah, I'll say expectation. Even if people aren't saying it, there's you grow up feeling like as you get older as a female, you learn how to wear makeup, even if it quote looks natural. Or guys, you don't have that.
No, okay,
Yeah.
I'll acquiesce to that.
In general, okay. Um, this next
Oh, and all
one,
real quick. So we've got
Yeah.
10 folks in the bar right now. If you have not introduced yourself or said hello, please put that in the chat. We'd certainly
Oh,
appreciate
here.
it.
Let me throw up some instructions for him. Then there you go. Look at it, 10 people. We almost need more than 2 hands.
How
to count them
how
all.
is that instructions? How is that instructions
It
on
says
how to say
email
hello?
us. That's instructions.
Yeah, but there's a chat thing right here. They can just say hello.
No, it says email us. For freaking out loud. Are
No,
you
I'm
new to
saying
this?
the people that are in the Barfly
Yeah.
can write in the chat, "Hi, we're in the lounge."
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was just saying we have enough people to start encouraging them to email us with so you don't have to put up with this crap. Come up with a better idea for us to talk about on your own.
What's
Oh, here,
so not?
PB's
Oh, wait.
chiming in. We always got to read the PB. His girlfriend wants to wear makeup. You don't need makeup. Oh, thank you. Oh, jeez.
Oh,
All right.
ouch!
Maybe we got to cut this
ouch,
guy.
ouch.
He's on
So
last call.
I'm
with
assuming
PB
that
today.
Pantea is saying that's not cool because I don't think I said anything that would offend her, at least not today.
No, she said that before that.
Thanks.
All right,
Yeah,
so
I know. I know.
I've got a double standard that's just a fact, and I don't know that any discussion needs to be other than me venting, right?
Okay.
So I'll give you one headline, right? It'll be like, car crashes into barrier, 2 people die after car fire, right? That's a headline that we could all read, right?
Okay.
If it's a Tesla, it's going to say Tesla involved in car crash, 2 people die in Tesla car fire. That ticks me off. That's a double standard.
That's
If
a
it's
trigger. That's a
Tesla,
trigger. That's a
they're
trigger.
always going to point out it's a Tesla. If it's anything else, it says, yeah, this stuff just happens. But if it's a Tesla, all of a sudden it's because it's a Tesla. Am I
Well,
right or am I right?
Yeah, no, I would agree. I would agree. I would agree that Teslas are being picked on as far as
All right.
accidents and stuff like that. But, you know, I think it could be. Yeah, well, you know, that an interesting test is if you say, okay, 2 people died in a Ferrari. Would that be just 2 people died in a crash, or would that be 2 people died in a Ferrari? So does it have a dollar amount attached to it on the car?
No, I mean, because I get that some Teslas are up there, but a lot of them are in with your kind of higher end average sedan cost, right?
Well, why do you think that is then?
Oh, well, I don't know. You know, I did a whole rant on why do people hate Teslas in the first place. And for some reason that's it, right? It's new technology. I don't have it, so I'm going to bash it.
Well, but you know what? But PB brought up a real good point. You remember back in the 70s, if you owned a Pinto,
Oh, well,
you know,
didn't
so
they explode?
yeah, people died in a fiery Pinto crash.
But more than average, right? Wasn't that the point of the
Yeah,
whole
I mean,
Pinto
yeah,
thing?
they
So Teslas don't crash more than average. In fact, it's less than average. But the media makes it seem the opposite, right?
Oh, Sam brought up a real good point. If it's not Tesla bashing, if it's the truth.
Well, that's one, Sam. One. All right. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready. Next one.
Next one is professions.
Okay.
Why would we say things like female police officer and male nurse?
Well,
Why
I think
is it that we have to define if it's outside the average?
Well, I think that's a throwback because, you know, and I think we've talked about this story. I had a buddy of mine who was one of the very first female nurses that he actually went to school at Bellevue Nursing School. And so back then, 99.9% of nurses were female. In fact, they had a hard time figuring out where he was going to sleep. So he ended up having, because at that time when he was in training, you had to stay at the hospital. And so he got stuck in a boiler room. So I think that's more societal than anything else. That for years and years and years, I mean, look at it. Florence Nightingale is considered the epitome of what you look at when you see a nurse. I think that's changing. I think it's changing. And as far as a female police officer, I think it's the same thing. I think traditionally, because I remember growing up, to be on the Tucson Police Department, you had to be at least 6'6", you had to be at least 220. So there were standards.
That'd be some beefy ladies.
Well, there's my point. But
Well,
you know,
so,
you
but,
could.
but there's two things, right? There's one like police officer. So I guess a lot of people would say policeman. So if you got the man on there, people might need to negate that. But if it's, I already had that up, Dave.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm looking somewhere else. Jeez,
I
God.
but like police officer, to throw a female in front of that, it's just because you're assuming that it's a man, right? And there's no need to. Who cares? Just tell your
Well,
story.
but I think
talk
that,
about
but I
whatever.
think that, but I think that's changing. I think it is. I mean, I think that slowly but surely, because you're having more women enter the police forces, you're having more women. You've got, well, the same thing. Oh, she's a female fighter pilot
Yeah,
instead of just being a fighter pilot.
that's bull.
Well, and now you've got female Thunderbirds, you got female Blue Angels. But I think what Tight Lily says, it's just not typical.
Right.
Now it is now. I mean, you've probably got as many male nurses as you have female nurses now.
No, it's not even close. But they're becoming more and more. Yeah, and it depends where you work too.
Sure.
The guys like the exciting stuff. So the emergency room, the ICU, that's where guys tend to congregate more.
hmm
But so here's a question for you. So genderized terms like male, man, policeman, all that stuff have become so general that we understand that it just is everybody, not just a man. So does
hmm
that need to be corrected? Since if we say, oh, policeman Susan, we know that it's her that's a policeman.
Well, I think
You have
again, I think it's the way we're brought up. When you look at professions, let's say baker, butcher. You don't like if there's a female butcher, you don't call her a female butcher, but a policeman, because I think of the historic fact that most policemen were men. I think that that's just stuck. Should it be changed? I don't know. I mean, if you remember Angie Dickinson, she was kind of the breakout role in Policewoman, that series, and that was a big change, like policewoman, da 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 da. So I don't know. Well, you know what? Let's ask our barflies that are female. Does it bother you if somebody says that is a female policeman?
no, I'm
Or
just saying policeman. She's a policeman.
okay,
Because we know by saying policeman, we're obviously not calling her a male, right?
right.
That's just the term of that job for forever. But I'm curious about this. Tig Lily says there's 1,400 derogatory names for males and 2 for guys. Besides Dave, what's the other derogatory name?
Well, you just insulted yourself. So
Well, I'm assuming that she meant that was one. But see, that comment's terrible because now we're trying to think of
well,
a barber. But nobody says female barber, woman
no.
barber. They right, which is
Well,
that's weird because barbers were you generally men,
right, and females were
but nobody
cosmetologists.
has to define it anymore.
Right, but females were cosmetologists.
Yeah.
Now that's changing. Yeah. Because there's male cosmetologists, but they're still called cosmetologists. So I guess, but what would be a term that would be gender neutral in your opinion?
I'm just saying, does the name have to be gender neutral?
Well, no, but I guess it depends on, because you and I, we've always grown up with policemen. So why not
Right.
just say she's a cop?
I don't know. Do they like that?
I don't know.
Here, my dad probably doesn't appreciate my opinion on these things. He's very politically correct.
News media uses police officer,
Yeah.
and now see that there you
Mail
go,
carrier.
mail carrier.
Mail. There you go.
Yeah, because it
genderizing
used to,
again.
no, because that's been changed. Because remember, it's always been postman.
Right. I know. I'm
And
just
so now it's
teasing about the term mail carrier. Veteran. What? I don't even know what that are veterinarians typically one or the other.
No.
I don't think so. PB, I'd say you're on the list, buddy. You're about to be cut off. Cops don't like cops. Yeah.
The cops don't
Anyway.
like cop. Okay.
All
okay.
right.
Well, there's
All
a
right,
lot
you-
of
You have any other
um.
double standards that bug
Yes,
you?
yes. Cat versus dog. Are you a cat person or are you a dog person?
Okay.
And there are specific people that say, "Oh, they're cat people," or "Oh, that's a dog person." And traditionally, when people are dog people, now we're both. We've got dogs and cats. So,
Right.
but typically, if you have a guy come up, okay, let's say just on the street and you meet some guy and a guy says, "Yeah, we have 4 cats." Do you have a
Yes.
different feeling in your brain about this person than if they said, "Yeah, we got 4 dogs"?
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
And,
That's
and
a
we've
double
got
standard.
cats.
Mhm.
We love
Yeah, we
them
have cats. We have cats and dogs.
Yeah.
So depends on how you
Yeah.
cook them. Jeez, wow.
That's very true. That's very true.
But the male female thing actually extends past dogs, cats, like a male goose. Or male duck versus male duck is a duck and a hen. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, if we're going to do
Are
double
they
standards,
offended?
no. See, that's just it. I mean, I think that somewhere along the line, as we've gotten older and things have changed, I think we have become more sensitive to monikers that are put on people. I mean, and you could argue black, white, Chinese. You can go down that road, and that's a
Oh.
whole nother conversation. But to
Yeah.
me, we're all humans. We're humans.
Human, male, human, police human. Yeah, we could do that. No, I was just trying to think of lighter-hearted, like other double standards we have. Like,
Okay,
it's
here's one.
okay if I cut off somebody in traffic because I know I'm going to get out of their way quickly and not delay them at all.
Whoa!
But it's
back
not
up.
okay if
Whoa,
somebody
wait,
cuts
wait.
me off.
Wait a minute. If you cut
Right?
somebody, and speaking of, I got cut off by a Tesla on the way back from Phoenix today.
Yeah, but
So-
did they get out of your way like lightning? Were they there and gone?
It was actually a plaid, so I had to catch up and follow for a while. It was pretty cool. No, aside from that, but yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. But see here, nobody really in Arizona, nobody really cuts people off really because you can get shot, and so it's people are a little bit nicer here because they're not quite sure who's carrying and who isn't. But okay, here's the double standard: crunchy peanut butter versus smooth peanut butter.
That's a double standard?
They're both peanut butter, right? So why do you have to have crunchy and why do you have to have smooth? Why can't you just call it peanut butter?
Well, Dave, because one's smooth and one's crunchy.
Yeah, but wait a minute. How much? Okay. With that logic, okay, peanut butter. Okay, so you would think it's smooth. Do you have any crunchy butter?
I hope not.
Exactly.
What, are you just advocating to not sell crunchy
Just call
peanut
it
butter because
no,
you don't
just,
like it?
No, I love crunchy peanut butter.
Oh,
but
wait,
just call
would
it
be
peanut butter.
peanut butter with peanuts? Is that
There
what it
you
would
go. Peanut butter with peanuts. I would be okay with that. In fact, yeah, that's it. Peanut butter is regular peanut butter. So it's peanuts, but it's like butter. Peanut butter with peanuts is peanut butter like butter, but it has peanuts added. See? No more crunchy versus that. Jam versus jelly. I've never understood the difference between the two because
You want me to explain all this to you, Dave?
absolutely.
Because which one of them has fresh fruit in it?
That's
And the other one's
preserves.
just
That's
like-
preserves.
Well, if you live in the
See?
Midwest, we don't have preserves here. One's jam and one's jelly.
You have preserves. Go to the grocery store.
No. I'll show you. The jelly is the kind that doesn't have fruit in it. It's like smooth peanut butter. But the jam is like crunchy peanut butter with actual bits of the stuff in it.
See, I call that preserves.
So that would be called strawberry jam with strawberries added. Just like peanut butter with peanuts. Dude, we need to come up with a whole line of food.
Well, no, I mean, you were talking about lighthearted double standards.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
I mean,
I don't know that they are, but it's a good conversation. Jelly sauce. I understand. So yeah, explain that to why would you buy jelly or whatever you want to call it that's kind of like sweet jello, runny sweet jello versus having the actual fruit that you're wanting to taste. What's the point in that?
True.
What's lemon curd then? It's curd, BP. It's right in the name. It's
You know, okay, but okay, so here's the trigger for me. Whenever I see the word curd, to me I feel it to me it says spoiled. I don't know why. It's that word curd. It's like moist. It's like
milk.
moist. It's like moist. It's just,
So yeah, so there's some words that don't make sense, right? So like curdled milk is something happened to the milk, right, to make it chunky. Well, maybe it did. So lemon curd makes it seem like something happened to kind of congeal the stuff, right? And it is
well,
thick.
one thing that tapioca. Why don't you just take vanilla pudding and shove a bunch of termites into your face? Because that's what.
You don't get to go. We already covered
Oh,
this.
okay, yeah, no.
But okay, you preserve boys. What is jelly then? What's jam? If preserves is
Jam is just because preserves, when you take it out of the jar, you have chunks. I mean chunks
Right.
of the fruit.
Right.
Jam is a little
Yeah.
smoother, but you can still see bits of fruit in it. It's more
Okay.
pureed.
All right. So it's degrees of chunkiness. I can get down with
Yes,
that.
yes,
Because
yes.
when I think of preserves, I'm thinking of almost like homemade, like it's full of the fruit versus
Sure.
just half
Right.
fruit. All right. We already, Tig Lily, we solved this one. One crisis. No, serve yourself, buddy, but leave the tip, so to speak. So to speak. And cheese curds, why are these not all over the country? These can be hard to find, but they are an amazing food product.
Squeaky cheese. Yep.
Yeah. You guys have that in your stores there?
Yes, we can get them. Yep.
We
Not
do
as
not.
good. Not as good as you can get in Wisconsin, but
Yeah.
they're good. They're good here.
Yeah.
Um,
This is sour cream for sure. I saw a meme post about salt, some kind of ocean salt, and it says like made over 5,000 or 5 million years, whatever, and then it had an expiration date, and it's like just my luck, my 5 million-year-old salt just expired 2 months ago.
Your dad just brought up a real good point, and if anybody needs to get a pure explanation on and what is milk, listen to there's a comedian. Help me out here, Tig Lily. There's a comedian that does an entire show on that, and what he says is that to have to be a milk, it has to have teats.
Right.
You can't milk a soybean. You
Otherwise,
can't
it's
milk
the juice.
That's right. You can't milk an oat.
Right. So it's almond juice.
It's almond juice or oat
Yeah.
juice or soy juice. Exactly.
Right.
Lewis Black. That's it. Lewis Black.
Is it?
These are the type of things that drive him crazy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because we
They're
could
just
go into the
making
whole
stuff up
we could go
now.
into the whole candy corn thing, but we won't do that on this show.
Yeah.
So you got another one?
No.
Okay, let's take some. Let's take some from the audience. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, give us something that you would like us to discuss, as we are experts in nothing.
Well, and it makes me think. Sometimes we said, first of all, we were going to do this show every other week,
Right.
but we couldn't contain ourselves. So here we are every week. And we were going to just do it for an hour. And we've been doing an hour and a half, again, just because we don't want to deny the folks what we can give them. But it also doesn't mean we gotta stretch it if we run
Okay.
the
How
course
long did you think about that?
what?
I'm just thankful that we've got 10 people that are going to spend an hour and 20 minutes with us. Either that means they love us or poutine. Oh.
Here's a good point. It's a good point. I think what he said is it has to have, but not. It's the opposite, right? Anything with milk has nipples, but not everything with nipples has milk. Boom. Again,
Yes,
solve
yes,
that one.
ladies and gentlemen, ponder that visual that he just painted for you. Okay.
I only read half of this. So
Double
let's get the
standard.
whole thing.
Bourbon drinkers offering opinions on scotch, horrible. Vice versa, passing on education. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Anybody can have an opinion on bourbon. Why? Because bourbon is lesser than scotch.
Did you just diss all of the United States?
No, because I drink bourbon too, but there is a standard of scotch drinkers as opposed to bourbon drinkers. Whiskey versus whiskey, exactly. See, Jerry knows.
Right. And Major Rich points out, I assume this has something to do with his nipples if it's coming from Major Rich. That shave cream has because it's called cream. I get it now. All right. It's a cream. Well, hand cream.
Face cream.
Do you suppose that you did have milk product in it at some point? Milk fat?
Oh, I'm sure it probably.
Boom.
But
Solve
I think
that one too,
I think cream has to do with the viscosity rather than
texture. Right.
And stuff like that.
As opposed to shave curds.
Yeah, shave curds. Although there are some shave soaps out there that do produce a curd like we won't go down that road.
Do they go bad? They do. They can dry out. I mean, I guess you've seen some. They don't go bad unless people load from the soap and they leave some wetness on it, right? And then you close it up, and then that's no bueno. You got.
Jerry, don't leave us. We didn't mean to offend you.
Respect.
We love you.
Jerry's not a West Coaster. He's up late, putting up with this. Let's see. I don't know. See, so I read 4 sentences of P-Beat, and I saw it had a lot. And I was about to post it, right? So we just read it live, and now it feels like rolling the dice with this guy, right? Like sometimes he speaks wisdom, and then other times you get done reading it, and you're like, son of a... Here, Dave, you read this.
Early Native Americans domesticate a weedy Mexican grass called teosinte, teosinte, ultimately transforming it into the primary ingredient of bourbon and a grain that feeds and fuels the United States. So
I don't know. He sounds educated, but bourbon's corn, right?
But see, when I read that as a lunkhead, I say, okay, so that proves my point that scotch is a good tasting alcohol and bourbon is oil. Fuels the United States.
All right. You know what's funny? I don't know how it even came up. We were in the grocery store yesterday or something. Why was I thinking this? And I was pointing out that like scotch is a super great food. It only has 2 ingredients and it's all natural. So it's got to be healthy, right?
You'd think. Well, that's like we could get into the whole tequila subject too. Tequila is, well, I call it mind erasing juice.
Well, that's on you, buddy.
I know.
It's just like, so this is interesting. I don't know. We would have to do more research, but when I've talked about wine before, right? That it's something like 95% of the people, when they buy a bottle of wine, it's like $6 or less, right? Like super cheap. And that's what the vast majority of people are drinking. And then you also know that people, when they think of like bourbon or scotch, they're thinking of blended cheap stuff. And some people grow up thinking of it as a shot glass, right? It's a shot. And we would never, think about just tossing back a shot of, however expensive stuff. It's simping and good, right? So you can do that with tequila.
Right. But tequila has also evolved over the last 20 years. I mean, there are high-end tequilas now that are just absolutely fantastic.
No, answer that. Go ahead.
I give people that drink bourbon crap, but Jerry knows that I drink bourbon just as much as I drink scotch.
I know too, and you're welcome every time I don't give you shit for it when you post a picture of bourbon. So,
but
tell me this though.
Speaking of that, when I was at Cigars Daily today, and there's a hint for our viewers, they actually have a cigar. Do I have? Oh, it's in the back. That Diesel makes a cigar, and Jerry, you want to listen to this. Diesel makes a cigar that uses the tobacco is aged in either sherry cask, Oloroso casks from Rabbit Hole, and also from their oak bourbon. It doesn't flavor the cigar, but the tobacco is aged in there. And according to the gentleman I spoke to today, Diesel is putting out some amazing, amazing cigars. So
Yeah. Have you had the Pappy Van Winkle cigars? You tried those?
yes, we had that.
Those
yeah,
are good.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty good.
Which surprised. I thought they would just be all hype.
Well, they're
they're
made by. I think they're made by Drew Estate, I believe.
Yeah.
For
So one
Pappy
more
Van
thing then,
Winkle.
before we get to your announcement, we can wrap it up with that.
Okay. All right.
Explain to me why tequila is pretty much the only alcohol when you go to the store comes in every wackadoo shape of bottle, but you don't see that from bourbons and scotches, and even vodka doesn't have, like a 6-shooter gun with bullet shot glasses and.
Okay, I have a theory on that. It's a completely baseless theory, but it's a theory I have. Well, think about it. Okay, where does Scotch hail from? Scotland, right? What is the weather like in Scotland, and how happy are people in Scotland?
They're miserable.
Okay,
Right?
you go to some of the places where there's bourbon in the summer. How miserable is it in the South in the summer?
They're miserable. There's nothing to see there. It's flat, and everybody has to drive a pickup truck.
Okay,
They're
so
miserable.
there's two things. But in tequila, you're in Mexico City, you're in the hills of Mexico. People are having fiestas and music and happy all the time. So it's the happy liquor.
All right. Since you prefaced it with being baseless, we'll take that. Because I'm going to say it's
Well,
very
think about
similar to Arizona. It's dirt and it's over 100 degrees.
And cactus. And what is tequila? Agave.
Agave. Okay, Dave,
all right. So
you went to a very cool place today.
yes, I will show you a couple of pictures that'll come up on your screen. We are extremely excited. Now, before I mention that, we're going to be making some changes and to the show, and this is why it's really important that those of you that are here today, please, please, please subscribe to @DrinksandDave. Dave will put that up in just a second, because once we get to 100 subscribers, we can take the live videos and move them to that channel, because right now they're being broadcast on either Nurse Dave Shaving World or Barber Dave Shaves and such, and we want to really do a standalone because that's going to give us a lot more opportunity to do that. But with that being the case, our guest on, and mark your calendars please, on September 19th, which is
Take
Tuesday.
the day off.
Take the day off. Tuesday at 6 p.m. we have a very special guest, and his name is Tim Swan.
Timmy!
Tim and you can check him out on YouTube. Tim has a store, a retail store, and that's this store right here. I was there today. It's located up in Phoenix, and it's called Cigars Daily. Now, Cigars Daily also, and I'll show you a couple of different pictures real quick. This is his part of his lobby area, and one thing that you'll see up here is that he supports local law enforcement, national law enforcement, Cigars for Heroes, and he supports all kinds of military type organizations, so that's good. This is one half of his humidor. It's huge. It's at least, I'd say, 1,000 square feet at minimum, and all these, and it's perfectly temperature controlled. And then here is his lobby, or his cigar lounge, where you can go in and enjoy a nice stick and just talk to people and have some fun. And then finally, this is the other part of the. And see, there are lady cigar smokers. In fact, I talked to her, and she actually bought quite a number of cigars, most of them flavored, but and she wanted to make sure that she didn't cross-contaminate her cigars with her husband, so that was kind of funny. But so Tim Swan is actually going to join us, and you can check out his YouTube channel. He's got 200,000 subscribers. Now, we're going to be switching the days of our show from Monday nights to Tuesday nights, and I'll tell you why. Monday nights is when Tim does the Cigar Nation and the Cigar Daily Live show, where he does reviews about cigars, and his entire staff is there, and they have a really, really good time. So check him out as well. But we're going to have him as a guest, and we are extremely excited. I went up to Phoenix today and talked to him about it. So that'll be September 19th at 6 p.m. And then on that date, all future episodes of the Drinks and Dave show will be on Tuesday evenings.
Yeah, so that's a Tuesday, not a Monday.
Right. And the reason why is because we want to kind of, hopefully have some of his viewers join us, and hopefully some of our viewers will join them. They have a really, really good time. And he's been gracious enough to, because let's face it, when you have 200,000 subscribers, you don't need Hillbilly Dave and
That's
Hillbilly
only,
Dave.
what, 20,000 times the number we have? I mean, we'll be there soon.
Exactly. And that was not a big picture of Hasselhoff. Baywatch was on TV. when I took the picture, but he couldn't.
Wow.
But he couldn't be more cordial of a guy. So we're really, really excited. And he was nice enough, because usually he's not in the shop on Tuesdays, so he's actually going to be doing the interview from his home. So that's he's making a special thing for that. So please tell everybody. Yeah, we're really excited about that. Even if you're not a cigar smoker,
Well, he's a fun guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and you want to bring your questions.
And he might be a little surprised, because we had a coffee guy on, and we talked about coffee, but we talked about other stuff. We talked about him. So Tim might be a little surprised that it's probably not all about cigars. You mentioned a flavored cigar. Have you ever had a flavored cigar?
Yes. I tried what was it? It was it was made by Acid Cigars, and it was a chocolate mint.
Did it taste like chocolate mint?
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. And
weird.
I couldn't get into it. I like the strong, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, it's one of those things where, I don't know. I guess, you asked about cat people versus dog people, and the stereotype, right? So I think probably same thing with flavored cigar people versus not, right? Like, if you're actually into cigars, you want the natural flavor and you want this and that. But it's like, what if flavored cigars are like super tasty? And it's like, I almost don't want to try one, because if you have like this vanilla thing that's just like, this amazing flavor, it's like,
and the thing is, and we will talk about this when Tim's on the show, but there is a huge market for flavored cigars. In fact, one of the first companies that did flavored cigar was Cohiba. And and this was back in the Cuban days, and it was a vanilla flavored Cohiba cigar, and it brought a lot of people into the cigar world. I mean, and even the Metropolitan Host, even though it's not a flavored cigar, it has a sweet cap. It has a sweet cap, and some people like that, some people don't. But I would argue that, just like with your knowledge of wines, cigars are the same way, and that's another reason why Tim's going to be able to, because a lot of people say, you smoke a cigar, it's tobacco. Yeah, but if you smoke it correctly, you hold the smoke in your mouth, and then you retrohale through your nose, you can taste the pepper, you can taste the chocolate, you can taste the coffee. I mean, it's a wonderful experience. It really, really is.
No, you're right. It is just, I mean, you can say wine, what is it? It's just grape juice fermented. So how many different, options and flavors? And obviously there's tons. So I know we know we need to wrap it up, but I'm excited.
Let's take one. If there's any other pet peeves, real quick, in the next, let's do a blitzkrieg. Is there any other pet peeves in the Barflies?
Not pet peeves.
I'm sorry. Double standards. Double standards. Double standards.
Oh, this is what I was thinking of saying.
Oh,
so
wait a minute, real quick. I've got to talk to PB about this. Well, Cigars Daily is a huge that he knows the Espinosas, and he had 14 boxes on back order, because this is a cigar that I'm waiting on, is a Candela wrapped wasabi, and right now they've been put on hold. We don't know when they're going to be here, but save that question for Tim.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, did you see the video of Schwarzenegger? And I think it was with your Death liquid tequila, right?
Mm-hmm.
brushing it on to his cigar.
Mhm.
Have you ever tried that?
I want
We
to.
got to try that.
I want to try that, but well, did you ever hear the story about how he started smoking cigars?
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he was
I don't think
actually
so.
he was actually at his wife, so Shriver's dad, and his dad said, "Try a cigar." Now this was back when Arnold was still, Mr. Universe and everything else,
Yeah.
and he never did any of that. And I guess his wife's dad said, "You have to have a cigar after a meal. A true gentleman has a cigar after every meal." And I guess Arnold goes, I don't know how to smoke these things. He goes, "I'll show you." And he's
That's
been
pretty
hooked.
good, Dave. That's a good accent.
Thank you. And he's been hooked ever since. And he's got a huge humidor. Huge.
Yeah, you gotta. Even if people don't smoke cigars, even more so, you probably don't know that much about them. So it should be an interesting conversation because, I'm all about thinking about the experience, right? So it really is just a tobacco leaf, more than one of them, but that's all that it is. And so the whole process to get it from the fields of Nicaragua into our humidor is just amazing. Right.
Exactly.
So that whole experience, plus other stuff that you're like the whole health aspect, right? He can speak very intelligently about that. And I know that for some people that's very controversial. So that might be interesting to hear about.
Well,
So,
and
but think about
and
your
there's-
questions for him.
Yeah, think about your question, because there's also been a lot of big wins on the legality standpoint that we could ask him about and stuff like that. So yeah, so again, mark your calendar, September 19th, 6
On a
p.m.
special 4-hour broadcast of Drinks and Daves.
So any other double standards that you would like to bring up in the lounge?
Oh, they're like, oh, hell no. Did we already lose Jerry? Is he gone?
No, I think Jerry's still
He
here.
probably went to
I
bed.
think Jerry's still
All
here.
right.
He's probably upset at the bourbon thing that he said.
All right, buddy.
Well, I mean, so I hope you guys enjoyed the show. This was an interesting show. So remember, our shows will be on Mondays up until September 19th. So make sure that, and we'll make everybody sure.
Yeah.
But one other thing, and I keep saying it, please get everybody to subscribe to our channel, because we really, really, really want to bring everything over to the Drinks and Dave channel. So on behalf of Dave, I'm Dave. Thank you so much for joining us at Drinks and Dave's, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same bat channel, 6 p.m. Pacific. Everybody has a wonderful, wonderful night.
Later, Dave.
See you later. Take care.